if you're using the T3 stack or just TRPC generally, you usually end up in a situation like me where you make a query. In that case, I make a query to get products that are published on my store. And you have the type here. But whenever you want to pass this type down to another component, you actually like, okay, what type should I put here? So you might actually try a bunch of weird type things, but there's actually out of the box something that you can use, which is infer router inputs and outputs from TRPC itself. So the only thing you have to do is router output, and then you use infer router outputs from TRPC. And so this actually, the only thing you have to pass to it, to this type, is the type of your router. So you just have to do the type of your whole app's router, and then it's going to create this router output type, that's how I call it. And then what you can do is just extract the output types from any query you have. So in that case, you can just do lemon squeezy and then whatever query you have. And the type here is going to be exactly what you want. And then you can use it. And here, because it's an array, I'm going to have to do number. And there you go. And then your product has a type. And of course, if you change this here and you say, okay, I add a link now to it, you're going to have the link here right off the box. And the cool thing is you can actually do the same for inputs, where you can do router input and then use infer router inputs. I don't know if it's gonna find it. Yeah, okay. So infer router inputs, and then do the same thing where you can do, okay, publish lemon squeezy products, but the input of the query. And so this is going to be void. And it makes sense that it's void, right? Because we're actually not asking anything here as an input. But if we add that and say, for example, that we want, yeah, exactly, super, a status that is an enum either published or unpublished, this is going to be status published or unpublished. And so that can help very easily if you have to pass this, for example, from, so let's say you want to say status, and in your pricing section, you only want to pass products that have this specific status. You can say status here. And basically this allows you to, right away extract the types from your router without having to create them. Generally, it's a good practice that in most of your code base, you should not be writing types yourself other than using this kind of helpers. Like 99% of the time nowadays, you shouldn't have to write your own types when it comes to defining inputs or outputs of specific functions like this.